I recently heard of a story of a family that had gone camping in northern Oregon near Hood River. And they had set up their camp, and like when you go to camp and you spread out all of your supplies, and you get your cooler out and you get your tent set up. Well, they did all of that. And then later that day, they were going to be there for the whole weekend. And after they had gotten all set up, they left all of that there and they went off to do hiking and sightseeing and all of that normal camping stuff. They came back with thoughts of starting a fire and having a good evening. It was starting to get kind of twilight by the time they got back. And immediately once they got back to their camp, they recognized that all of their stuff had been totally messed up. Things had been thrown everywhere. The cooler was open, food was out of it. They had like some pretty expensive stuff that hadn't been messed with, but I think initially they were thinking it was a bear, because bears will go and rip open the cooler and rip open your toothpaste and toiletries and things like that. So they were like, did a bear come in through here? But as they kind of looked closer, they didn't see any bear prints, with like this very distinct claw marks, and they're just like, what the heck did this? And as they were looking around, they saw large footprints in the soil, not everywhere, but just in the softer places. And it wasn't good enough soil to get like really well-defined like toe prints necessarily, but they were way bigger than a human's feet would be. And they were just like, what in the world is this? And as they were checking things out, they found one of their green propane bottles that you use for your camp stoves and for your buddy heater or whatever. And one of those had been pinched, like almost like someone with a huge hand went and just pinched it down until it had ruptured. All of the gas was out of it. And I can't even imagine how much force it would take to squeeze one of those. And they didn't run it over with a truck. The story goes is that whatever this creature was able to grab this, and I don't know why it did it, but it pinched it until it was pinched and had like that hand compression to it, which is unreal. It freaked the family out. By this time it was dark, and they were like, well, maybe we can sleep in the car. Well, no one wanted to sleep, but everyone kind of like did their best to crawl all into their sleeping bags. They didn't feel like doing a campfire anymore, but they started a fire just because they figured it might deter animals from coming into their camp. And so they started a fire, didn't hang out around it, and just retreated back. A couple of them slept in the car, a couple of them slept in the tent, and the dad of the family had packed his sidearm, and he had that with him, and they went to bed. Well, later that night, they heard this horrific howling and the sound of thrashing bushes. That was enough. They climbed out of bed. They threw everything in the back of their car. Didn't like roll anything up. They just as quick as they could, just threw everything in the back of the car and tore out of there. And the word is that they are not planning on camping there anytime soon. But kind of a terrifying story. I don't blame them. But, for us, the folks that are looking for Bigfoot, that's exactly the sort of place that we'd want to go. So let me know if you want to head out there on an expedition with me. But anyways, we will catch you next time. If you found this entertaining, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.